Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Temple of Geek podcast. I'm here, Kurosh. I'm one of your hosts, joined today by Myles. Myles, thank you for joining us. And Danreb, thank you for joining us. And if you're not familiar with us, we come now at a cadence of a monthly basis and talk whatever we think is fun or interesting or relevant in the gaming space. And today we have a fun episode for you, so we're going to get into that in a minute. But we encourage you to check our site out, templeofgeek.com. We all write for them, doing our own thing. I'll give, I guess, a second. Myles, is there anything you want to introduce or say about yourself for first-time viewers, potentially?
Sure, yeah. So my name's Myles. I'm an editor at the site. Primarily cover games. And to clarify earlier, the Temple Geek podcast. This is like our video game show. We're in the process of workshopping our own name for it to maybe have it be its own separate thing under the Temple Geek umbrella. But yeah, we cover games here. We get invited to go to events all the time. So we're an independent media site. Yeah, pretty much speaks
Okay.
for itself. If you already know what video games media does, then you kind of already know what we do.
And Danreb, the illustrious man himself, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah,
First time viewers.
I'm Danreb. As Kurosh said, we also represent our own outlets, if you will. I noticed that we decided to not name them, so I'll do the same and not name them either. I will say that I call myself a double agent in the video game industry because I also work as a community manager. I work for a gaming nonprofit, and I also love doing the stuff that I do for Temple of Geek and my other outlets. So yeah, let's go.
And we got an exciting episode today. So without further ado, with our last episode, we talked about a lot of the game of the year, the game awards and everything. And we thought it'd be a fun thing to do. We've been kind of brainstorming this for a minute to do a fantasy draft of sorts that I've been hoping to do. And I've convinced Myles Danreb to join in on this. And so we're going to do it. It's Temple of Geek draft. And so there's a website known as Fantasy Critic Games. You may have heard of it in other games media and stuff. And so what it is it's essentially a kind of akin to a sports fantasy draft, but for video games. And the way in which points are scored is the draft sources out of OpenCritic, which is an aggregate of a lot of game reviews for a lot of different games media. It'll take your IGNs, your variety of your game stops, and a variety of other outlets, and takes all their scores, aggregates it, and puts a comprehensive score for them. And that score dictates how many points you get. And so what we'll do today is draft part of our list, each of our lists, and compete for potentially a fun reward for whoever wins. We are still workshopping what the prize will be, but we're trying to have some fun with it, have some creative ideas in the brainstorming right now. If you have any ideas, we'd love to hear it. So let us know in when we post the video and everything what you think the reward should be for the winner. But without further ado, I will begin outlining some of this right now. Danreb, Myles, do you have any immediate questions that come to mind?
Well, I just want to clarify for the audience that it's just games 2025. And since we're recording this so late in January, we meant to do it a couple weeks ago, but I live in LA, so everything with the fire, it's just been not the first thing on my mind. I think we've agreed that games that came out in January, we're just not going to pick at all, just because they're already their scores are already known quantities, and then we're only doing half now, and then we're going to do the other half later, which I assume you're going to explain. Just
yes.
Okay.
So let me go over a bit of the league rules that we're going to adhere to, and I want to see again if you have questions or if I can help explain. So, in the course of this year, we're to each of us draft for our fan made. Like Myles, you have your publisher. We each have our own publisher that we've created. So I have KJP Productions. Myles, you have Professional Amateur Studios, and Danreb, you have Smashpad.
Yeah, I changed that, but I don't know.
Oh,
I might change it.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just a fun name.
Perfectly acceptable. You can change however you like. And so we each have our publishers. And as publisher owners, we are going to be drafting a total over the course of this year of 15 games that are set to come out in 2025. Today, we are drafting 7 of those games.
7 games, okay.
So only 7. But as the draft goes, we're each going to take turns picking. One thing that you may have on the top of your list might get taken. So you need to pivot. You need to go to some get creative, maybe with your picks. Think of what I would stress that the games you're picking today are the ones you kind of want to just lock in. If you feel like there's a game that maybe the other two contestants are not really thinking of or unlikely to pick today, you will have a chance to get them at a later date. And so the other 8 games we'll be picking up over the course of this year. And every week, you have a chance to put in your games and select them. And at the end of the week, the way in which you pick it is you select it and you put a dollar amount of how much you're bidding. You can bid $0. We're allotted $100 at the start of the year. It's like a little, like, here's your money for the year. It's $100, fake money. Use that money over the course of the year. There's no way to get more money, but use that to make wagers or bids for those games. So for instance, let's say Danreb, Myles, you both are vying for a game that just got announced at one of Jeff Keighley's events. And you're like, oh man, I want to lock that in. Myles puts in a bid for his game. He's like, I got 100. I'll use 25 of those bucks. Danreb is like, man, I wonder how much Myles is betting. I'm going to go, screw it. I really want to make sure. I'm going to put in 50 bucks of my allotted publisher funds. The winner will then have spent that 50 bucks and have secured it. The other person does not lose the money that they tried to bid.
When do we use the money?
When you're making the picks after today.
Got it.
Oh, after today.
Okay. It's not being used at all for today. It's only for any future games that you're like, oh, Half-Life 3 got announced. Okay, I really want to make sure I lock that in.
Okay. So basically, this is going to be auction money. So let's say, me and Myles want the same game that got announced next month or something.
Whoever bids the most gets
we're not telling anybody who we got, but we go ahead and put bids for them, and whoever had the highest bid is gonna get the pick.
At the end of the week, the bids are examined by the website and say like, okay, what games were bid, how much was bid, cool. And it just autos like, okay, now this is Danreb's game or this is Myles' game, and the bids are secret. So until whenever the bids get reviewed, no one knows what you're bidding on that week. And that's every week. And so just be mindful of your allotted funds as a publisher, because that's going to carry.
Games, right?
I'll get to that as well. That's a good question. So you have an allotted amount of money. You can bid $0, and that's a tact to use in the year as well. Because if you think like, man, I don't think anyone's going to bid on this JRPG that neither of the other two may have heard of. I'm going to try.
You're looking at me there.
Maybe. Or I'm going to bid on this indie game that I don't think either of them are really paying attention to.
You're looking at me again. You see that?
And I could just be like, I'm going to bid $0 and take my chance. So that is also an option. Keep that in mind over this year. Now, to your question, Danreb, can you drop a game? If the game is set to release this year, you are allotted, I believe, one will release drop game. You're like, I'm not feeling as confident as I did after that last like press release or that demo that they did on game, like whatever game. And
what happens if a game gets delayed out of 2025?
Another good question. So if a game is confirmed delayed out of the year, confirmed, it has to be confirmed. It is not releasing this year. It is you can free drop. That's unlimited. Okay. So, but you need the confirmation, which can bite people in the butt sometimes. You're like, just say something, please. Like Hollow Knight, talk to me, say something. Team Cherry notoriously radio silent on some of those
Chocolate
things.
Cake right there. Boom.
So those are a couple of things. And then I wanted to say, after you've made your pick, so we're going to be drafting 7 games, and today we'll be allotted 2 counter picks in this draft. And what a counter pick is whatever points a game is set to make. It's usually any point, any score it gets above a 70 or 75, I believe, is a positive point for the publisher or for the player.
It's 1 point. It
scales. Once you're at 90 plus, it starts amping up a little bit more. You can get like 30 points or something close to that. But it goes up from there. So 70 is like the baseline. A counter pick is if I counter pick a game Myles picked, any point negatively that goes for that game benefits me. I gain points off of that. It's inversely related. So I don't want to counter pick a game I think Myles or Danreb are likely to have score successfully. You don't want to counter pick those games. Are there any questions with counter?
So basically, you're just calling the other guy being wrong.
Potentially wrong or potentially not coming out. Sometimes a safe option is, I think all of your games could be good, but the likelihood of it coming out or not, if a game doesn't come out and you've counterpicked it, you both net no points for it.
Got it. Okay.
You have to counterpick?
Yes.
2 counterpicks are required. One is only required today, so you can save the other one over the course of the year to do. There are no trades for games. You can't say like, you two can't be talking and be like, okay, I'll trade you this game and give me that game that you locked in.
Trade this game, I'll trade it back to you in November 18th.
And the thing regarding scoring, it's 1 point above 70, but once it's above 90, it's 2 points. It scales up from 2 points. And now the last thing I think I need to cover is the types of games we're going to allow. There are a number of, let me pull it up. Sealed? No. Edit. Give me 1 second. The league options. Okay. So the types of games we're not allowing, and the goal of this, it's good to keep in mind the intent, is we're trying to avoid known quantities as much as possible. This is the fun of a fantasy draft is I think this game is going to be good, and it's going to score review well. And the less we know, the more I think it adds to like the unpredictability of this. So with that in mind, the ban tags currently are as listed on Fantasy Critic Games website, and they try to define it to some degree. If it's currently in early access, it's not allowed. So, for instance, Hades 2, not a game that's eligible. Director's cuts, examples of this: Persona 5 Royal, Super Mario World 3D World, and Bowser's Fury. Those are games that have been released not long after the original release with some new content to some degree. Partial remakes are not allowed. And at any point, if you guys have questions, let me know. Partial remakes. This category is hard to define. There's a lot of games that are a little too remade to be remastered, but too similar to be a remake. They live here. And those examples are Demon's Souls for PS5, Shadow of the Colossus, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Skyward Sword HD. Those are some examples.
So it's a remake, but it's the same mechanics. So if you were... Resident Evil 2 remake would be draftable because it's a whole new game. It's a whole actual new game.
Correct.
Okay. What about a remastered collection? No?
I think we're banning those as well.
That's another category. So they tried to there was a little bit of differentiation. So remasters, a game that's been updated graphics or added minor features in existing. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, Wind Waker HD. So those are also bannable. Are banned.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is, you mentioned a bunch of games that already came out. So
correct. Those are examples to try to.
List. Okay.
Yeah, those are examples of if you're thinking in the vein of something comes out and it's similar to that. That's help you give you some idea of what examples they could be. We got 3 more tags. Released internationally currently, that is going to come out maybe this year in North America. I don't know how common that is, but that's not available.
Okay.
Ports. So if it's coming to Switch, if it's coming to PC, like Doom going to Switch, Death Stranding coming to PC, Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, those are examples of past games that wouldn't have been eligible.
Okay. I was going to do Red Dead on Switch too. So.
I'm not doing that. You're fine.
A game this is also one that we've selected, and again, we can make adjustments as needed. If it's planned for early access this year, we've made that unavailable.
If we're going to ban games that are currently in early access, that should be the case here as well.
And if there's an exception, sometimes there might be a game that we have to be like, oh, I don't know where this falls into. It's called that, but we can do house rules, we can do overrides, but we should, the 3 of us should have a consensus.
I think it's cool.
And that's the rules, really. Everything else is free game. Though it's also the way the site categorizes it, so you can easily see if it's listed in there. It'll tell you it's defined as a new game or not. So it'll tell you, oh, that's not eligible to be picked. If you ever want to check. But with that in mind, are you guys ready to go?
Yes. Are you going to be manually keeping track on anything? Do I need to do anything?
You just need to tell me if you have that link I sent you both.
Yes.
If you as I'm updating it, you can update it to see your game accurately reflected.
Got it. I'm ready.
So the question that remains: how would you guys like to do the draft order? Random or manual? Like, are we selecting anyone in any fashion?
I think we should start random and then snake draft from there.
Okay.
So
I have no preferences.
Yeah. It doesn't
Okay, we'll
matter.
do random. Things are getting started. Start drafting.
Me first. Come on.
Let's see. Warning: once you start drafting, you can no longer add or remove players. And by the way, this list we'll share in the show notes. It's something you can follow along as a viewer over the course of the year to see how each of us are doing, what you think.
We will post it on our Blue Sky. Yes.
Okay. First draft pick, randomly selected, was KJP Productions.
Hey.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's convenient. Yeah, it's so
I
random.
just picked random.
It's so random. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Man, I did not expect that. I thought it was going to be one of you two first.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Oh,
What do I
bad
want to
word.
lock? Oh, sorry. Yeah. What do I want to lock in? What do I want to lock in? I want to lock in what hasn't been.
Go ahead.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
It's a game that we saw briefly in the Switch 2 announcement, or sort of announcement thing, but we don't have an official title or anything yet. I want to lock in Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart that's coming out. I think it's I'm pretty confident it's coming out this year, and I feel like with how long it's been gestating, how long it's been since the last one, and how great the last one is, I can't fail.
There's no way it's bad, right? There's absolutely no way it's bad.
There's no way it's bad, but it can definitely be average. So
Sure.
That's true. I think the only thing that could really screw me with this game is if they add some feature where like, oh, kind of like how they did the voice chat thing for Nintendo Online. We're like, oh, you need a separate app to do a certain part of the game, or they just get weird with it in some way.
I mean, that ended up creating one of IGN's best podcasts. So
That's a good point. Next up in the draft is Professional Amateur Studios.
Oh my god.
Okay. There's a lot of obvious first picks here. I'm trying to find the most obvious one, but they're all like I'm torn between three.
Okay.
One of them I'm not. It's not coming out this year.
You're gonna end up two because you're snaking. So
well, yeah, that's true. Well, I mean,
no, it'll go. So it'll go to Danreb, and then you'll pick twice, and then it'll come back to.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna end up with at least two of those choices.
You're right. You're right. Okay, so I will start with Elden Ring Night Rain.
Okay.
I don't think I'm really gonna play this game, but Elden Ring is now like a mainstream religion now, so I'd be shocked if this got under like an 80. So,
I feel like it's that you're getting in solid points, and that's always something to keep in mind is you aim big, but the thing that is the unpredictability factor for this is that whole like it being a pure multiplayer kind of game.
It's 1 or 3 players. It's not 2 players. Like there's a lot going against it, but it's also like
it's FromSoft.
It's still Elden Ring, but that might be what gives it a low scores because it has already set these crazy expectations. It being strictly multiplayer could very well not meet them. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Next up, Danreb, what are we picking for Smash Mouth?
Yeah, I mean, like my picks are going to be obvious here. They're probably going to be the two that Myles wanted in the first place. I have a quick question. Does it matter if we picked like one game as the first and the other game as the second? Or does it? No. No. All right.
So for you in this instance, that does not. No, it's fine.
Just to have a different game listed first on my roster. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Ghost of Yotei.
No.
Okay. So we're gonna grab that one. That was like the most impressive announcement that Sony's made over the past year. Ghost of Tsushima was really, really great. And the only thing that can possibly bring Ghost of Yotei down are the people who hate DEI. So let's go.
I think you got a strong game there. Everything Sucker Punch is shown with. I mean, how confidently they started with that announcement to how it was showcased, and with the launch date of this year, I'm like,
Yes.
I should have picked it. Damn it, I'm already feeling the regret.
These first picks, it's oftentimes there's just you're kind of like, what do I need to get first, and it's part of the game. So
It's the whole like keep it simple, stupid approach.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
That's the way I play fantasy football. And that being said, starting the second round,
Let's go.
this game should have been picked first overall. I don't know why you guys didn't pick it. It's Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say something else, but yeah, I mean that was about to be my next pick. I think this is another game that is like there's no way it's bad or no way it fails. Me and Danreb got to see this behind closed doors at SGF. This game looks incredible. Big leap forward for the franchise. I think that's a good pick. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, unless they make like cyberpunk mistakes, which is, obviously you and I saw behind closed doors. A lot of us saw cyberpunk behind closed doors, and it also looked awesome. But like once it came out, it was
Vertical slices aren't always indicative of what the rest of the game is going to be like.
Exactly.
And something I experienced with when they did the beta, the demo that came out late last year, was how it played well, but it made me worry a little bit visually. And I'm wondering if with how many players can be in a community hub. I think it's each server is now like not just 7 or 8 players; it's upwards of 30 plus. And so I'm hoping there's no launch issues. I think that could be detrimental to it because, again, this is based on review scores, and if review
Kurosh rolled his eyes during the Game Awards. Capcom don't miss, so like let's go, man.
They really don't, though. They really don't.
But it's important to remember this is based on a review because if it I think what was it this year, Stalker 2. I think when it came out, it was buggy, but as it went out later, it was great. Like people were talking amazingly about it. But Capcom, you're right. Don't miss. I don't mean to sow doubt. Professional Amateur Studios. What Myles? What are we doing?
Okay, I think we're all in agreement. That's why no one went to GTA 6 first. It's just like it feels like a safe pick, but also like a risky pick, right? Because
if it comes out,
yeah, if it comes out, I'm obviously gonna get points. But like, I would be very shocked if this didn't get pushed out. I think I'll save it. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna go GTA 6.
The thing I'll say about considering it is that I feel like you'll very clearly get a confirmation whether or not it is out.
Yeah. So. But that's a good point. Then it's a free drop, right? If that's
correct.
The case.
That is true.
I think I'm gonna go GTA 6. But if I get a free drop, that means it's like less of a chance for me to score because I just have one slot gone, right? Is that how that works?
No, it's not a slot gun. It's just that slot is now empty. You can pick a new one later.
I will pick GTA 6 now.
Okay.
GTA
6.
This glass cannon pick. Yeah. If it comes out, there's no way it's bad, right? Like this.
Yeah.
The rumor is
just lost the draft guide. It's already over.
Yeah. We'll see. Hey, we'll see. My personal opinion is that it probably will get pushed out, but
it's like we have the original Temple of the Geek guy on the podcast, just making his site lose.
No. Okay, now I'm gonna win because of that.
You got to manifest that energy, yeah. I mean, you got FromSoft, you got Rockstar here.
Yeah.
What do?
Yeah, go ahead, Kurosh.
This is tough. It's less about like what I think is going to be good and more about like what I think is going to get taken from you two. That's where I'm at this point. But my heart says I got to take a little bit of a risk here because it's not fun if there's not a little bit of risk. I'm going to go after the Xbox Direct this past week. Sandfall Interactive's Expedition 33. I want to lock that in.
Yeah. I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for this game.
All right. I'm not going to say what this is, but here's a toast.
It's lemonade.
I know that studio, there's not too much of a past, history with their pedigree or anything, but I just, with what they've shown, I can't help but not want it to succeed. I feel like I'm manifesting. I'm like, if I pick it, it'll be good because now I need it to be good.
This is a game where a lot of people are impressed by the budget and the cast and think that's enough. But from what we've seen from like trailers and everything, the turn-based combat like actually looks really good. It has a lot of Persona like sprinkled in there with like the interactive UI and stuff.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it looks like like a PS2 Japanese RPG that like, but it has like Final Fantasy X vibes. I think it's gonna be good too. That's a good thing. Yeah.
For me, the confidence on the release dates coming up in a few months,
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Great point,
it's a real quantity. Okay, my follow up pick is going to be. This is also like I feel historically they score well. I'm not as well versed in the series, although it's one of my not genres franchises I've always wanted to get into, and I feel like I need to now more than ever. Like a Dragon, Pirate,
Oof.
Yakuza in Hawaii.
That's a safe pick. That's a good safe pick.
Okay.
For sure.
Everything I've heard about the last two alone, like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth, and just seeing what I've seen of this game, it looks fun. It looks great. It seems like it's previewed well. And their history just seems like it's a very reliable history. And right now in this draft, I need some reliability. So
For sure.
okay,
My turn.
Myles, it's back to you.
Let me see. You guys have already picked some of the ones I wanted. So let's stick with Xbox here. We're talking
Ooh.
about that developer direct from the other day, which, by the way, 10 out of 10. Oh my god, all these games.
Good show. Yeah.
It was a very good show.
Very good show.
Everything talked to me except one game.
Which one?
Doom.
Doom. Yeah, Doom.
Okay.
I'm not a Doom guy. I might pick Doom, but I'm not a Doom guy.
Well, you're not gonna pick Doom because
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the Dark Ages.
You said
Yeah, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, both like insanely like good video games where it's just like big dumb fun, like fast paced action. Doom the Dark Ages, it's looking like it's kind of slowing it down a bit more from what we're used to with like a dodge and parry stuff, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's going to reach like a broader audience, and like the fact that it has like a fantasy backdrop speaks to me personally. And like, come on, you can throw a freaking razor shield.
And mechs. Yeah. There's mechs in this
game. And mechs. Like, this game's gonna freaking rule, man. And like you mentioned about Expedition 33, the confidence with the release date leads me to believe it's going to be a very well done. It's not undercooked.
Yeah, this team at id Software has done some good stuff, so I'm excited to see how this does.
100%.
Okay, Danreb, what we got? What's in the roster?
All right, so this is going to be a weird pick for me because I haven't played any of these games. I was kind of like shaking when Kurosh said he's going with a genre that he's not too familiar with. So I'm going to do the same thing.
Okay.
But also, like, they've had a hell of a community. This represents a game that I actually had an interview for, and it didn't work out. But yeah, the reason why like this game all of a sudden came to mind was I saw something on Instagram Reels, and it really talked about like a really important character in Filipino history. It talked about Jose Rizal, who was considered a national hero. So the game I'm talking about is Civ 6. I'm going to pick Civ 6. And like that game historically has scored really well, especially if its last couple iterations, and I see no reason why 6 can't be as successful.
Civ 7, correct? The upcoming one?
Sorry, so the upcoming Civ, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one's coming up soon. That's mid-February, so I'm excited to see.
That's like a week away. Cool. That was going to be my next pick. Yeah, for the same exact reasons as you, Danreb. It's just like historically, like people love these games. They're very well made. It's not a genre I'm super familiar with, but I think it'll score very, very high. That's a good pick.
Very nice. What are you following that up with, Danreb?
This one is
Oh yeah, you guys got it too.
Really got to think of my options here. But
a lot of good ones.
I'm also going to go with another historical choice here, except with this one, I am very familiar, especially if you're into the PlayStation way of life. Konami had a hit last year that I didn't expect them to really have. Silent Hill 2 was absolutely amazing, according to the masses. And I think Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater can go ahead and do that as well. So we're going to pick now.
That's a great pick. Yeah, Myles, you talked about Silent Hill 2 last year a little bit. And Konami brought that back. That was a new team doing it?
Bloober Team remade it, and I believe Konami just published. I could be wrong, but this last like year or so really does feel like their renaissance. They even brought back the old DS Castlevania games.
Yeah.
So I would very much love if they like remade Symphony of the Night or something, or just made an actual new Castlevania.
Yeah, Snake Eater, I'm excited to see. Everything they've shown so far, I've been stoked.
For sure.
Something I thought fell in my background.
Yeah, I heard it. No worries.
But okay, Myles, what are we picking for you?
Okay, let me see. Sorry, what's available? Okay. Danreb, you just had to take freaking Monster Hunter, man.
It was the number 1 overall pick. I'm surprised. You should blame Kurosh for that. Huh?
Yeah, it's my
as well as yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond for the Nintendo Switch and possibly Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, Metroid Prime Remastered came out a couple years ago. Made an already perfect game even better. And like, I do think the one thing holding the original back is its control scheme. I actually kind of hate it. So the fact that it has like modernized like FPS controls is great. And so 4 should have that. And yeah, it just looks good. Has a storied development history where it was originally being made by someone who I am forgetting, and then it was rebooted under Retro, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is another one that I think can't fail. It's likely the swan song to the Switch. Yeah, Metro Prime 4.
Metro Prime 4 locked in. Nice. Oh man. Okay, so the picks are dwindling. What do we go for? Do we get Wild yet?
There's still a lot of good stuff, though.
You already got Wild, Kurosh, so any pick you make is a wild card.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. We're going to pick... Man, I feel like I could go safe. I feel like this is a reliable team. They do great work, but I don't... What do you guys think? Do I introduce a little bit more...
Spice it up.
Let's okay.
It depends. Do you want to lose or do you want to win?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to win.
That's true. I mean, okay, so I'm going to go on with this one just because I feel like it's a strong game. They had a strong presence at the Game Awards. They announced their trailer there. Whether it releases this year is the only part I'm kind of hesitant on, but I was very confident with what they showed. I thought it was a very good story-driven game, very Telltale-like, and that's the game from Ad Hoc Studio, Dispatch.
Yeah.
Where we saw a little bit of that cringy on host.
It was so uncomfortable.
Aaron Paul and Laura Bailey with Dispatch. But the game looked great. Like I was really into what they were showcasing. I think that kind of game is well performed, and the way it led to like potential like going out on little dispatch missions, being a dispatcher for a superhero kind of fiction world, I felt like is going to grab people and just wow us. So I'm going to go with Dispatch.
Okay. Good pick.
For sure you'd be going with Earthblade, man. It's a good game, too.
Oh, rest in peace. Oh, my gosh.
Trying to trick me.
It's one of the most unexpected announcements I've seen lately. It's so sad.
Man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it wasn't as crazy because now I get to pick again. I'm going to pick... we're going to take it to the beach now with Troy Baker and Kojima, and we're going to pick Death Stranding 2 on the beach because that game looks wild, it looks weird, and so I feel like Death Stranding 1 really was the like tastemaker of like, is this game going to work well? It was a weird idea. It was a new IP for his studio, and now that, whether you like it or not, it's more of a known quantity. Where he takes it from here and expands on that, I think is going to be more interesting. And yeah, I'm excited. So I'm going to pick Death Stranding 2.
Good pick. I really need to play the first one. It's definitely on my backlog.
It's nice. It's back to you, Myles.
Boy. Okay, so we're a little slim pickings here there's like a bunch of stuff that we know of that like could be good, but like I am still trying to win. I'm trying to look at stuff that's actually announced, like confirmed for different quarters. Like
Yeah, tell the viewers, where's your head at? Is it more the reliability factor or the quality factor?
Well, it's both. It's a mix of both. I have to rely on the game actually coming out and then being good. So like with that logic in mind, like I don't think Assassin's Creed Shadows is like a safe pick. Not saying that that's my pick. That's just my example.
Yeah. Talk us through it. This is
No,
what the fans want to know. They want to get behind professional amateur studio.
None of us did it. But what if we? So we're not doing this until June, right?
We're not what?
We're not doing part 2 until June, right? Something like that.
Something, yeah. We'll revisit this mid-year.
What if, like, one of us picked games that all came out by the time June came
and then the last half.
I've been in situations where a player has done that. Okay. I don't think it. I will say it didn't pan well for them because
I was gonna say because there's gonna be so many other games that we straight up just have no idea about now.
Yeah,
and it leaves you with less options and choices. So, but again, I'll reiterate: you have one free drop, so you have that to fall back on. But yeah, that could happen. You could just fill your roster right now with whatever's up for grabs and just be like, I'm done.
Can you drop a game that did come out like it bombed?
Once it's scored, it's undroppable.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, I have my pick. This is a former studio that won Game of the Year at the Keeleys, and that is Split Fiction.
Yeah.
You finally got one off my list. Damn
it. The Oscars and F this game. I'm going to win with Split Fiction.
God, you suck.
It Takes Two is like...
That was my game of 2021.
It's incredible. It tells a really poignant story, and it's like some of the best co-op platforming of all time.
That one hurts.
It
really hurts.
The setting for Split Fiction is extremely interesting. I'm happy that it's vastly different from It Takes Two, but it still is going to retain these mechanics. I think it's going to be a hit for sure.
Yeah. Hazelight hasn't gone wrong in recent years, and being award winning. You got some blood off on Danreb right there.
It's okay. You took Monster Hunter. So.
Man.
All right, you're right there.
Yeah, that was gonna be one of them. So I have been blindsided all of a sudden. So we have like 3 picks left, right?
Yeah, you're on pick number 5 right now.
We're on pick number 5. So yeah, we got 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got a time limit. I'm not gonna take forever, but
you're fine. Talk us through it. Where's your head at after that jarring blow that Myles just did on you?
Like there was a gotta have it game that I was gonna go ahead and put on here.
Okay, you got an ace up your sleeve?
We're not there yet. I don't know. I wouldn't call it an ace.
I think we're out of aces. What? I don't know what could be an ace right now.
The one game, and one of them was the one that Myles just took. And then you said you want to take away everything from January, right? Including January 30th. So
correct. Yes.
Yeah, because I wanted to grab Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Like, that could have been like a huge burn right there. Because
I would have just surrendered if you did that.
So, like, that would have been wonderful. Man, okay, so Assassin's Creed is still there. That one is still there as well.
There was another preview earlier this week, and people are liking it a lot more.
Maybe that time paid off that they delayed.
Yep. I'm hoping so because I'm very interested in it. Gotcha. As a fan, like I want to play it.
Yeah, that one was TBA, so that might be too much of a risk.
Okay.
This one could make sense because
just don't pick what I want next. Okay, that's all you got to do. That's all you got.
Yeah. All right. This one is going to be a little bit of a risk, but I don't think it'll be that big of a risk because it's already in early access. Came out last year, and they can only make it better. So
does that make it eligible?
I hope it doesn't.
Well, I think he's going to say Hades 2, which
I'm going to say Hades 2. Is Hades 2 eligible?
I don't think so. If it's already in early access, that's not.
But okay. It could have 1.0 by the end of 2025.
Yeah,
that's where I feel like Hades could be an exception.
Well, based on the criteria we picked, we said if it's currently already in early access, it's not.
I didn't hear the currently part, so
I apologize. Okay, yeah.
No worries. Yeah. No, I appreciate you letting me talk it out.
Yeah.
So that totally works out.
Would have been a good pick otherwise.
I think that would have been a surefire point.
I thought Hello Kitty would have just destroyed it. I'm not even kidding about that. So
no, I know.
Sure. All right. You guys got the first I'm stumped kind of way to go.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. There's no more aces, I don't think.
Yeah.
Rest assured, I mean, you got 2 back-to-backs here, so
There's a lot of games.
That makes it possible. That's the problem because one of them was supposed to be split fiction, so that's a little bit of
Got
a
him.
little bit of a worry here.
is there anything, I mean, this is again talking it out. Is there anything on your mind right now that you want to try and get that is like unannounced potentially?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
I
haven't
was gonna
speculated
say,
a bit,
if
but
you
like
scroll down this list, there's a couple of games on here that like they say unannounced, which you can pick if you want to get risky. Like
It's absolutely
Untitled 2025 SpongeBob game. That's on the list here.
World of Warcraft 2 unannounced.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a possibility. Not World of Warcraft 2 though.
Okay.
Hold on, let me just do a little bit of more scrolling here, and I'll go ahead and come to a decision within 30 seconds. I promise you that.
No, you're fine.
worries.
Are you trying to
You're
keep it safe? Are you trying to have fun? Are you trying to hit a big risk?
I'm like safe in the sense where like I'm sure it's coming out this year.
Okay.
That's
It's like
around there.
if this game scores a 79, it doesn't mean shit to me, right? I'm sorry, it doesn't mean anything to me, right?
I'm sure
So,
we can have
Yeah.
2 S-bombs.
yeah. So there's that.
Miles, where's your head at with what you got while Danreb's picking? You got
I-
5, you got
I-
picks.
I know what my next pick is going to be if Danreb doesn't pick them in these next 2. So
Okay.
All right, so just because I heard him say it and it was on my mind anyway, I'm gonna go with Assassin's Creed Shadows as one of my one of my 2 here.
that's
Okay.
fine. That's not what I'm
Okay.
picking.
Yeah, and then just because I have 2 more left, right?
You have
Correct.
one more.
I'm gonna go ahead.
No, you have one more right now, and then
Okay.
your last one
And then
you
it'll
will
go
be the
back.
last pick.
Got it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way before you guys decide to snipe me. I'm gonna go with Trails in the Sky the first. Yeah.
Trails. Can you? Sorry, Trails in.
Trails in the Sky the first.
Oh, in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the remake of the first one?
That's
First
the remake of the
chapter.
first game, but it's a complete like
Okay,
the
that's
first
what I
game
was
was 2D, so there's a 3D remake.
Got
and,
it. Got it.
Yeah, this is
Correct.
like this is
Alright,
their
that's
chance
good
to
pick,
make
good pick.
Trails a mainstream RPG franchise.
Shout out once
Nice.
again to Cam Hawkins. Peek is back or whatever he says.
You don't have to give him. We don't shut up because I was promoting this way before him. So.
Okay.
Okay, Miles, how devastated are you that he picked Trails before you?
Oh, I'm heartbroken. I quit the game. My next actual pick. This is a game that has been previewing well as well, and it's
Okay.
from a very popular Western RPG studio titled Obsidian Entertainment. My pick is Avowed.
Ooh, okay,
Yes.
coming up.
Avowed, yes.
I was thinking about that one, and ultimately decided not to.
Yeah. I do think this is a spin the wheel type of situation where it could be good, could be bad. I'm obviously going to bank on it being good, but like this is another one that just in the last year has had a handful of previews. Every preview from every outlet, all my friends that I've spoken to about this game are really into it. I'd be shocked if I didn't get any points off of it.
That's
Good
a
pick.
good.
Good
That's a
pick.
good pick.
So that's the first time I said that for you, so it's a good pick.
Hey, no, I have really good picks. You're crazy. Sorry, Kurosh.
You got really good picks. You picked a good studio. They've done a lot of good work. In fact, they've done more work in the past that they're going to revisit this year, I think. And I'm going to go with that other pick. I'm going to go with The Outer Worlds 2
Great pick.
by the same studio.
pick.
I think this is a little bit more on the safer side. I feel like the last one was great, did well, and I think building off of that, they're going to do some cool stuff. And so I'm picking Outer Worlds 2.
Good pick.
My next one, I don't know if it's on your guys' radar, but I have tried a few of the alphas for this last year, and I think it's coming out this year, so it was a little bit of a risk. But we're gonna go with Riot Games' new fighting game, 2X KO.
2XKO, yeah.
I very much enjoy the tag team kind of fighting games, and what I played was so smooth. And it's really, to me, just a matter of like Riot. I think has a great pedigree. It's just a matter of if it's coming out this year. And they don't have a set date, but
This was on my radar as well. I feel like all of Riot's like new properties or whatever are like killing it. So I think this is a good pick.
Okay, Miles, we're back to you.
Oh, we're
and
back to
this
me.
is, by the way, this is your last pick. So
And then after these picks, we're each doing one counter pick. Is that right?
we'll go through our counter picks after that. Correct.
Do I pick from both of you or just pick one?
Well, I'll explain the counter picks when we get there. So just right now, think on what is your final pick going to be.
So this is my last pick for this half of the year. Let me see what everyone else has picked here.
Get a free grab in there. Yeah, it should be updated
Yeah,
for
I'm
you guys
looking.
both to look.
So my last one is a Valve. Interesting.
I'll go
good
through
stuff in there.
everyone. So right now I have Untitled next Mario Kart game on the Switch, Switch 2, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Dispatch, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, The Outer Worlds 2, and 2XKO. Myles, you have Elden Ring Night Rain, Grand Theft Auto 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Split Fiction, Avowed. And Danreb, you have Ghosts of Yotei, Monster Hunter Wilds, Civ 7, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Trails in the Sky First Chapter.
What a year. God.
Jeez. It's gonna, yeah.
What a year.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be a fun GODY. So,
okay, my final pick for this half of the game. I am torn between two games that one of them feels a little more obvious just in terms of open critic score. But like I don't know if I go with my brain or with my heart here. Guys, what do I do? Brain or heart?
Here's one thing to think about before. Do you think either of us will go for the other game? Like, do you like? There's a risk of like.
It is possible. Yes, it is possible.
Okay. I say follow your heart, man. If you want to win.
Okay, I will go with my heart. I will pick Compulsion Games South of Midnight.
Okay.
I am so excited for this game. I know their last game. I think their last game was We Happy Few didn't review very well, but this has a lot of cultural backing to it, and like not only that, it's just a super interesting art style. The voice acting is incredible. Adrian Ray from Atlanta plays Hazel, the main character. Fantastic actor. And it's like a Souls-like platformer. It's just so up my alley, minus the Souls stuff. That personally, I'm excited for it. This is where, I'm going with my heart rather than my brain, because it's possible that it could get review bombed and stuff like that, which is stupid. But South of Midnight, yeah, I'm very, very excited for this game.
Strong last pick. Well done, Myles. And as a publisher, you got a very good theme there between your Elden Rings and your South of Midnight. You said Souls-like a little bit. You got some RPG.
But I'm trying to win.
Danreb, finishes out. What is your final pick? What is the final pick of this 2025 Temple of Geek draft for Fantasy Critic?
I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and just, shoot at the moon here. Let's go ahead and go with a game that was not announced. Ooh. I think the Switch 2 has a huge chance to be the console of the year, much like the original Switch was.
Okay.
And, back when the Switch was originally released, we had Zelda, we had Mario Kart, we had, a lot of people thought that it was whatever, but I thought ARMS was cool.
ARMS was cool.
Good. And they ended the year with Super Mario Odyssey. And
good pick.
I thought if Odyssey and Zelda switched release dates, then that would have switched the game of the year. And I'm going to go with that strategy again, and I'm going to go with the unannounced Mario platformer coming at the end of 2025.
3D.
Okay.
3D, right?
It's 3D Mario platformer.
Unannounced mainline
good pick.
3D Mario platformer. Hell of a way to end this.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're all.
So all the picks are in.
Yeah, my pick where I was going to go with my brain was going to be Pokemon Legends ZA. Yeah, but South of Midnight is actually coming out.
Too, so. But I thought that one as well as South of Midnight we're going to swim in sevens. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, most of people's sevens are my nines. So yeah.
Okay, and Danner, so we're going to kick us off as the draft continues. Now we're doing counter picks.
Got it.
So you want to pick from Myles and I.
6.
Okay, there you go.
Well, no, hold on. So if you think that it's not coming out anyway, you don't want to pick that because I'm going to drop it. So at this point, you should pick a different game because it's going to be messing with my score way more. If you already think GTA 6 will get dropped, because if that happens, neither of us get points.
Dispatch.
Not that I'm trying to talk you out of it, but like I think
I mean, that could make you
Like
safe too,
strategy.
because it could just mean he doesn't lose any points.
True.
It's true.
But yeah, so what
What
is
if
your
it comes
final
out
pick?
this year? What if it comes out this year? Then you're screwed. So. What is your counter pick? And it doesn't have to be off my list, by the way. You can look at Kurosh.
Yes, it does.
I did say dispatch is a backup, but if you do
Yeah,
drop
I was looking at that too.
it's a smart thing to do. Man. Sorry, can you say your games again, Kurosh?
Sure. Untitled next Mario Kart game for Switch 2, Expedition 33, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Dispatch, Death Stranding 2, Outer Wilds 2, and 2XKO. That's a star-studded year, if I ever saw one.
Yeah,
KJP Productions is about to...
aside from Grand Theft Auto, can you repeat your list?
Yes, I have Elden Ring, Night Rain, Doom: The Dark Ages, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Split Fiction, Avowed, and South of Midnight. And then Grand Theft Auto.
Man.
All very good games.
Yeah. No, the wrench that Myles threw at me was a good one. I mean, if it's going to be delayed, you have to cut it, right? Like, why would you keep it on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're dumb, so I'm definitely not gonna go with that one. I'm gonna go with Dispatch.
Okay.
Just because I don't know what that game is. And
Yeah.
That might be a stupid reason, but whatever. It is what it is.
You just got to make as calculated a choice you can make.
Yeah.
All right, that's your counter pick. Myles, what is your counter pick? And I'll list Danreb's again: Ghosts of Yote, Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, okay. Well, for viewers, Civ 7, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Trails in the Sky First Chapter, and unannounced mainline 3D Mario platform.
Oh, I love both of your guys' lists. All these games look so good. But what do I think is going to score less than 70? I feel like the only obvious pick off just these current 21 games, other than Dispatch, is going to be Assassin's Creed. That's not my pick. I'm just thinking through.
Okay, let me know when it's official. But we're talking Assassin's Creed. You have some doubts. Okay.
After that, I could see Outer Worlds 2 being not great either. However, I do see a lot of people being Starfield left a bad taste in their mouth. Outer Worlds, the first one, kind of achieved a better goal with what they were trying to achieve versus what Starfield was doing.
True. And again, with reviewing, I feel like if the saturation comes of like, hey, we just reviewed Avowed, now we're reviewing Outer Worlds 2, and it's like, is it too samey? Is that on review? Is that on journalist's head?
Exactly.
I know that's impacted scores before, so you never know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's something going to impact scores just because they're only 2 years apart.
You said they have to score sub 70 or sub 80?
Sub 70. It should be, let me see on the site how it describes it, but I'll pull that up. Scoring.
When you're ready, Kurosh, I think I have my pick. As much as I don't
just random. I'm not trying to change your opinion, Myles. It might be a way to think. There's been a lot of Yakuzas lately, and we're gonna jump back into, the classic, beat 'em up style.
I think RGG is the next Capcom where they don't miss. No, I don't. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
I mean, the TV show sucks. So,
so the way scoring works. The way scoring works is based on its score on OpenCritic. The team will gain or lose points based on how well the game reviews. Only critic scores are taken into account. For every point above 70 on OpenCritic, your game scores 1 point. For every point below 70, you lose a point. If a game doesn't release in the year you are playing, it is treated as a 70 and therefore a 0 point. So it'll just be like, it'll show nothing.
Okay.
However, there is a special rule to make certain points worth more or less. If your game scores above 90, every point above 90 is worth 2 points. So if your game gets 94, you get 20 points for being above 70, an additional 8 for being above 90. So you get 28 points off a 94 score.
Sorry, guys. Kind of Wilds.
Another special rule is that there's a diminishing return on how much a very bad game hurts you. Every point from 60 through 70 loses you 1 point. But every 10 points range below that, each point is worth half in that range.
Can I pick the same game as
No.
Danreb for? Okay. I will counterpick Assassin's Creed Shadows. As much as I don't want to do that, I think this game has a lot going against it. That's not entirely like the dev's fault.
This guy
But
hooks like
this is
chastity,
where
like
we're at.
jobs. Jeez, man.
What? I didn't get what you said.
Youssef and Chastity lose their jobs, man. Terrible.
No. I love Chastity. I obviously want her to keep her job. Yeah, that's my counter pick. I'm not happy with it.
It's a tough call to make at this point because we are trying to. This first half is usually the more polished half.
You're gonna buy some stock, Myles, so you can turn that into 10-cent stock. Jeez, man.
Yeah, guys, I'm chill. I'm actually here. I'm playing the stock market here.
The other thing to keep in mind is you cannot counterpick a game of your own. I probably goes without saying. Just want to make sure I clarify that. Man, okay, what do I pick? This is tough.
Danreb made a good point. Oh, wait, no, never mind. That's on your list. Never mind. I was going to say like a
yeah. I mean, Kurosh, man, you might want to just drop Yakuza. I'm not saying that because I want to grab it. Like, I was actually careful to not pick that one.
Don't buy it.
You've done this before. I could tell.
No, I have not. I know how to play mind games, but I'll tell you, that's not a game that
he's a sicko.
I would rely on critics to. Yeah, I love Yakuza. Don't get me wrong. But,
it's hard. Okay, so I'm looking at both you guys' lists. There's a lot of the thing I'm trying to avoid right now is known quantities. I'm of the mind to take more of a risk right now, and I think
I don't like how that sounds.
This is tough.
Don't you do it. Don't do it.
Mario. I'm gonna drop Mario, bro. Just
no, Mario's coming out. No, Mario's coming out this year. Yes.
Really?
Okay. Metroid Prime 4. I'm excited for. It's not the killer app that the Nintendo Switch 2 is looking to have to sell consoles.
Sure.
Yeah, but we're talking about
Kart is, but no, I know, but just for Kurosh's sake here, I think Mario's coming out this year. Do with that. Do with my.
See that's where my mind's at is whether or not it's coming out. I think there's a strong argument to be made that it would. The part of me that's thinking it's not is okay. We got potentially a mid-year launch for this console. Mario Kart 9 being a big kind of platform seller, console seller. Metroid Prime 4 going to be a big showing, but there's not like. I don't know if that's going to be the thing that's like a system seller. It'll probably be a cross-platform thing. People are going to be picking up on both. They'll want something that's a new game, and if I'd be more willing to bet it's a Mario game than it's a Zelda game. And I think it's going to be one of those two. So
we got a Zelda last year.
There's no way it's a Zelda game. There's no way we're getting a Zelda this year. I'm calling it right now. We're not going to this year.
5 minutes after the show ends, Myles locks in unannounced Zelda game.
he signs it immediately. He loves Zelda, man.
Okay. I'm taking another risk here because it's all these are risks. I don't know the Trails series, so I'm gonna go off of not knowing and just pick Trails.
No one knows it. That's why it's in the score high. You're gonna
I think that's a very unsafe pick. The people who love these games, Kurosh, they will die for these games.
But here's the thing.
Myles, how about this? How about you and I, tell Kurosh what we think is the worst game on our list? See if that
on our own list. So if I were to counterpick my own list, we're all smart enough to not pick GTA 6. I think I think if I were to pick against my own list, South of Midnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Danreb?
On my own list, I would say Metal Gear Solid, just because we don't know what that developer can do, and Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of the most beloved in the series, and you could easily screw that up.
Yeah.
So.
Good point. Who's developing that?
I don't know.
So, probably a developer underneath Konami. But so this is the thing I was going to say about Trails or games that just in reviews in general. Oftentimes I'll see a series that's been beloved by its core fans, but it's coming into a year where they're going for a wider appeal. And because it's going for a wider appeal, it's getting a larger net of outlets reviewing it. And those people aren't fans. So the scores get kind of muddled or more averaged out in some ways. That's my thinking there.
That's a good point, but a lot of the smaller outlets are probably not on OpenCritic.
That's a good point. Okay.
The other point is, I disagree, but a lot of like a lot of the fans of the series believe it's getting progressively worse. So,
But this is a remake of the first one.
a restart would be an opportunity for it to be good again.
That's a fair point. This is tough. Okay, I got to make a decision.
You both games are so good. They're so good.
This is hard. I feel like I'm set up for.
Yeah.
I just got This isn't setting me up for pro. This is setting me up for. I have to pick games so good that it counters whatever loss I get right now.
For sure.
I am gonna bite the bullet. I think you both made strong arguments. Thank you both for that. Myles, you win. I'm gonna pick as much as it hurts me.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't like it. I feel dirty for doing
That's
this.
how I feel about Assassin's Creed. When we reconvene in June.
Real quick, I forgot this conversation. If a counter pick ends up, going the way you think, Kurosh, for example, you picked what's it called?
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight. If South of Midnight sucks, does that benefit you or does it just hurt Myles?
It's both. Okay. So however many points he loses on his score is however many points I'm going to gain.
Okay.
So let's say it gets 65 on, if it averages at 65, for instance, he's going to lose 5 points. I'm going to gain 5 points.
Okay.
And then if I'm right and it's good, you lose that many points?
Yeah, if let's say it gets a solid 85, you're going to get 15 points. I'm going to lose 15 points.
Ooh, man.
I think when we reconvene in June for the other half, I think we should not help each other out at that point and be a little more competitive, just for fun.
I mean, the stakes are going to help me. So knowing what we're fighting for is really going to get my blood into this game. And but this is your guys' first time doing the draft, so I really wanted to make sure.
Are we able to sign free agents by the time June rolls around, or like before then? Or
what do you like other publishers?
Yeah, no. Like for example, if I wanted to, let's say Wolf Among Us came out in March, and I wanted to spend on that one before June, would I be able to?
So this is a decision the three of us have to make. We can make it now, or we can decide to have it after this recording. But typically, what I've done and what most I think drafts go is now it's open season. Okay. If you see something get announced, or if you got a better feeling about something, or if you have an idea like I want to grab this before it goes, people just make bids week by week. And what we could do is we leave it open. You pick whatever you want to pick. If you want to add one or two, if you want to fill your roster, go for it. But we reconvene in mid-year and maybe have another discussion and make additional picks, or just talk through our updated lists and how the year's been going.
Okay.
So I leave that up to how we want to operate. I open that. What do you guys think?
What number?
What's that?
We're stuck on 14 picks or
15. So you have 8 more to pick and 1 counter pick to do over the course of this year.
Okay.
And so sorry, we do that throughout the year, and the list is updated every weekend. We're not going to re-meet like this and just do the other half of the draft.
I'm just saying historically that's how fantasy drafts have gone, is that
I've never done
as the year goes on, if there's like a direct that comes out in April, for instance, and something catches your eye, you're like, I want to lock that in, you make a bid. We go week by week on the draft. But what we can do is, with that in mind, we could keep it live and just ongoing throughout the year. Sure. We could do another episode in the future where we talk about the updated, where's the standing at? What do we think? Where's your head at? What do you feel like you need to do to win? Kind of almost like a post-game. Yeah. Like, okay, we finished first half. Where's your team head at? What do you think you need to do? What are your lessons learned from the scores you got? What do you want to do? Maybe that's how we do it.
Just to show like where my head was at, because I didn't know the rules between after this was done and going into June. Let's say, for example, I did not pick Trails because I didn't think any of you two would, right?
Okay.
I would have like left that for later. Go ahead and spend my $1.
Sure.
No one else
or $0.
Yeah. Or $0.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it shows up later.
Cool. Okay, that makes sense.
So we're good with that then. We're going to go forward right out. Like, you guys can literally start making some bids right now.
Yeah.
And fill and add to your thing.
Does that include the counter pick? How does the counter pick work?
At some point before the end of the year, you got to just pick another game to fill your thing. I think you get penalized if you don't, but okay, I don't.
I think mid-year we should do an update podcast with like what's been added on for bids, and then there probably do our second counter pick just for fun or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Or,
And
or-
we'll probably we could reveal to our audience what our what the winner gets at that point too.
Sure, yeah, we
we'll
can
go ahead and
figure it out.
talk about it later. But like if we're all at SGF, we can do it there too.
I would love to do it live. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel right now with your list? Do you feel like post initial draft? What is the thoughts?
I regret not starting with Goseyote. Really bad. I really
Again, the
regret
answer
that.
was Monster Hunter Wilds. And
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ghost of
I don't
Yoshi
know.
gets in a sophomore slump. So, but yeah,
He went for that. I mean, yeah,
Don't
Danreb,
tell
you went
me
for
that.
that 1-2 right there of
Yeah.
Sucker
Yeah.
Punch. And,
I'm really confident in that top two. I'm also really confident in Civilization. And then my second half is a little bit out there, but I do think all of these released this year at the very least, and I do think like if we only had 7, I really think I have at least 7 points. So
100%. Yeah.
that's been my thing.
And another thing just for viewers that are going to watch or keep an eye on this list, and for you guys as well. So when you look at this draft list, bookmark it, keep it on your phone or whatever. It'll have upcoming games and who's vying for them on of anyone's list. So right now, if you look at that list, Civ 7 is the most immediate game coming up, and it's Danreb's. Avowed's going to be after that. Like a Dragon's currently listed to be after that. So we're going to see some results very soon in the next just month and two. And above that is going to show each of our publishers the actual points we have at whatever point you're looking at it, and the projected points. I urge you not to, and this has happened to me, and it's happened to friends. They let the projected points get in their head. The projections are not based off of anything actual. It's all just like based off of this site tries to do some degree of hype factor around things, and it uses that as its basis. So don't lean too hard of like, oh, I'm feeling caught. Like right now, the projected is that Myles is going to win with 135 points. That might make you let your guard down. And I would caution you not to do that, and just be vigilant.
Actually, like what I did was I looked at other people's or other sites drafts. Looked at their top
flag on the play. Hold on.
It is fun though. It is fun to do. Yeah, I encourage this is, by the way, it's completely free. This site has been great. It's been around for a minute. They've been building out, been more robust. They're doing a lot of content feedback of like, hey, why is this game? I see the scores. Why is it not showing? Like one year, Risk of Rain 2 had scores, but it only had like 4. And so the score wasn't updating. And my friend was like, I'm getting no points because those scores aren't uploading. And they've been good about
last year with Marvel Rivals. There wasn't enough reviews on it. So
yeah. But they're doing better. They're like, and you can reach out to them and you can get some clarity. And at any point, again, we can override anything if we need it. We just need to talk about it if there's an option.
And like, I have this game on my list, but like, you don't want to over pick with your heart, because I see Tim Geddes picking unannounced Marta title first overall, and I'm like, no.
He likes to go big though. He's flashy, hype, and everything. So it's good stuff. But yeah, that concludes our draft for our draft picks. Thank you both, you guys. I'm excited to see how your publishers do, your studios, and may the best team win. Anything we should end with? This is we're wrapping up. We're getting to the end of the show. Is there any final things you guys want to say?
No, it's just it's going to be a really good year for games, just in terms of like quality output. Just here's to hoping layoffs slow down. Hopefully everyone can be comfy. If you live in LA like me, I hope you're safe. I hope everything's okay. It is currently dumping rain, which is good for the fires, but now like mudslides are a thing, so it's like one thing after another here. Yeah, thanks for putting this together, Kurosh. I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Danreb, what do you think? Any final words?
Yeah, man. Really excited about that Switch 2. Really excited about what Xbox, had to show lately. Like, I really wanted to pick one of those Xbox games for this list. It just didn't turn out that way with my own draft strategy.
Sure.
But yeah, I also noticed that my list is also a little pro PlayStation, so I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they better pick it up, man.
You want to see a state of play soon. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It has to.
And yeah, I'm excited to see where this draft goes. You guys had some great picks. I think we all had some good stuff. It's going to be a fun thing to do, and also for fans to follow. Where can people find you guys?
Go ahead, Danreb.
You can find me just about anywhere at DanrebV or at Danreb. My name is pretty unique, so I'm able to get my name at whatever platform is there, and I'm on all the platforms. So yeah.
Myles?
You can find me at Myles Abenza. I had to look it up because I don't know what my handle was on Blue Sky. This is where I'm most active, especially just in terms of like video game industry stuff. I'm on Instagram a lot too, but if you want to follow me and my work and stuff, mostly Blue Sky.
And you can find me at Cujo Prime on pretty much anything. You can find us all, any kind of semblance of our works on Temple of Geek. This is Temple Geek podcast. You'll see this episode coming up on YouTube, and we're pretty active on Blue Sky. So please be sure to check us out on Blue Sky. Same handle. And thank you again for joining in on our episode of our podcast that will soon have a name, and we'll make a big thing of it. It'll be
by the next episode, we will have a name. I promise.
When the Temple of Geek Direct gets announced, there'll be some big announcements. And one more thing,
there will be no mention of the Switch 2 in that podcast
coming out next year.
Next year.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.